Good morning, everyone, and welcome to episode number 5 of Builders Talk. And today I'm going to be talking to you about what is your starting benchmark. So everyone talks about knowing your numbers, and most people only refer to what's the number in your bank account, what's on your profit and loss statement. But there are so many other numbers that we need to know within our building business that is valuable, and I guess a lot of them aren't discussed or highlighted through typical, coaching. It's more about know your numbers, know how much money you got in the bank, know how much money you got coming in. But there's so many other indicators that can make us aware of problems that may be going to happen in our business, and we can circumnavigate some of those problems happening if we have those indicators to show us that initially. And I do get a little bit excited about numbers because I know that they do tell us about so much of where we're at in our business, and they also help us keep in momentum. So today's episode, I'm going to talk to you about the markers to benchmark your business. And I guess this is similar to establishing a elevation or a floor level on your building site. It's a very important starting point. It can affect your whole project if that level is not right. So today I'm going to talk to you about finding that starting point in your business so that you are aware of the indicators and you can try and prevent some of the problems that may occur. So this starting point will allow you to reflect back on, what has happened previously. And there is value in not only obviously knowing what you've achieved, but also what you didn't achieve. And not achieving doesn't mean you've failed. It just means you might not have reached that goal yet, and you've still, can put in things in place to still keep moving towards that goal. And as Thomas Edison said, every failure is a lesson learned about your strategy. So benchmarking can help you easily identify the frameworks or strategies that may need some tweaking, or highlight the frameworks that are in your business that may be lacking in some way. I spoke last week about frameworks and about them being designed as a loose guidance, which allows you to add your own creativity, utilizing the existing tools and systems you may already have in your business. So in order to locate the markers to benchmark your business, we're going to locate the markers of where you've come from. And I'm sure a lot of us would like to forget about 2020 and the year that COVID-19 changed all of our lives as we knew it. We all had to quickly learn how to pivot our businesses and deal with the effects of COVID-19. Unfortunately, some states had to deal with longer shutdowns than others. And I guess there's various markers that we can dig out to, find that starting point. And it's like trying to find the old boundary survey pegs on a block of land to locate where the boundaries are, so you make sure that your house is built in the correct location on that house. So we're going to undig and find those markers so that you can use them to predict more accurately what may be going on in your business. So some of the markers that we might use is use your calendar, use your profit and loss statements, your quoting system, Facebook and Instagram timelines, your project management software, your statistics from places like your website visitors or Google My Business. You can use your diary, what's written in your diary, your bank statements, and signed contracts. So if we look through these records, they're like little markers that are not often used to reflect what has been happening or what has happened in your business. So by recording these details every month or year or quarter, you'll start to see trends and patterns that may be appearing within your business. So it's like recording, the flood level benchmarks. They know that 1 in a 100-year flood will potentially go to this level. We can use that. So basically they use that data to mitigate any effects or flooding within people's homes. So we're trying to look at these markers to, mitigate the effects of the feast and famine that we often deal with in the building industry, because you will be able to pick those patterns of what happens in your business, because not all businesses are the same. Like the workflow in a city may be different from a regional area. So I can't just say to you, look, pretty much everyone at this time of the year has a slowdown in work. So you need to be aware of it. These are the things that you need to be looking at in your business so that you know exactly what is happening in your business and not just a generic statement from a coach or another person that sort of, I guess, tells you what they think is happening. You need to actually know for sure what is happening in your business. So there is slow times that do happen usually throughout the year. My business, we get a slowdown around sort of September, October, when people realise that it's too late basically to start their building project and they won't be in for Christmas. And they just think, oh, well, we'll just wait till next year now. So those sort of, I guess, leads of potential clients start to slow down. But at the moment, I've got plenty of work. So you might sort of think, well, I've got plenty of work, it doesn't matter. But we are still building houses and we have got the cash flow. But I know that we'll have a lull between new jobs that start on site because we don't have any prospective clients coming in around that time. So these benchmarks will also be able to tell you when are your busiest periods. And knowing when your busy periods are is giving you the ability to forward plan and understand what you might need to put in place for your business. And I guess an example would be, do you need to put on more staff? Do you need more trades? Is your business capable of handling the busier periods as opposed to the slow periods? So if you're having a slow period or you know that you're coming up to a slow period, you might start to put aside cash stores so that you can go through those famine times and be able to still keep your business open. So pretty much every year everyone says, yeah, I'm going to put aside money for tax, I'm going to put aside money for super and I guess money for a rainy day, but we never really get round to it because we're all so busy, and it's not until it happens that you go, I don't have enough money to, pay the next round of wages. So, you there's always those times when you think, yeah, I've got the money coming in from this job and this job, but rain delays it, or a client decides not to pay on time, or they only want to pay part of that money. So your cash flow gets impacted by other factors that we can't control. So we need to be able to, I guess, see these indicators so that we can control what we can to help sort of smooth out those lumps and bumps in our business. I guess I use multiple bank accounts now, and I transfer money into those accounts and then I hide them. So I can't see the money in there. And the only time I'll unhide them is when, I need to pay my tax, I need to pay my super. And if a customer hasn't paid on time or, progress payments haven't come through when we're expecting it, I can dig in and get some money for end of month accounts. And then I can replace that back in there once those payments come in from my clients. I'm lucky to have a husband that's a super Excel spreadsheet person. And he had designed a spreadsheet for me that I guess calculates when we get a progress payment in, what are the percentages that I need to take out to have in a separate bank account. So we take out tax, we put aside GST, and we put aside overheads, and we actually try and then put in at the profit that we think we'll make from that progress payment that we come in, so that we have all these separate bank accounts. It's a bit of a nightmare to account and pain in the neck to keep constantly transferring money, but I know that that money is there and I'm not trying to find that when my BAS becomes due. So I guess how we did that is we went through and went, okay, for the base stage payment, these are the expenses that will incur in that time frame. So the concreter, the Rio, whatever those things are. And we went, okay, well, that makes up out of that progress payment 30% of the money. Okay, so we're going to put 30% of that money aside to pay for those expenses. Okay, how much do we need to then pay towards GST? And we work out the GST off the difference. Not so everyone says, or the tax office says, you get in $100,000, you should put 10% of that aside. But we know that we're not, we're just like a holding account. We have the customer's money come in and then it goes straight back out again. But we as a business might only keep 10% of that 100,000. So we might keep 10,000. So really I only need to put aside 10% of the 10,000 that I'm going to, I guess, have as a profit, or not, that I'm not paying expenses out over. So that's I guess where some people come unstuck. They think I can't afford to put all this $10,000 aside out of this $100,000 because I don't have money to pay for all the bills. So you need a system and a way to be able to, I guess, work out those percentages so that you are putting the right amount of money aside and that you are making sure you've got enough money there to pay the bills when they come in, and that doesn't cause as much stress around that. So I guess these are some of the resources and things that you can do to make sure that you are accounting for feast and famine times. At the moment, you probably do need more resources because the government has been very generous and offering $25,000 home builder grant. And I'm not sure about everyone else in all the other states, but here in Queensland, we're actually now experiencing trade shortages. Trades are increasing their prices because they know that we can't get anyone else to do the work. And unfortunately, these type of things do affect our profit margins. And even though we have a lot of work and the cash flow coming in, we can experience other issues that are caused from the fact that we actually have too much work. And we sort of need to make sure that we are, I guess, looking at those factors. So I probably do need to do a show that is on the effects of and knowing what signs to look out for when these type of, I guess, things happen, because a lot of builders, even though they've got a lot of workload, will probably actually experience hardship over the next year due to other factors other than the workload. So I have a workbook that is broken down into months. I'll put a link in the comments of the video, and basically you go through, I want you to go through each month and write down what's happened each month. So sort of like a diary. So write down for January, did you win any jobs? Did you win any awards for the homes that you built? Have you had a good month financially? And you might actually be surprised at what you actually did have to celebrate for last year, because we often forget about what went right and only focus on what went wrong. But I also do want you to write down what didn't go to plan. So did you have trouble getting money from a client at some time throughout the year? Did you have an issue with a client? Did you not have enough work? Did you have a lot of maintenance issues? Because these types of things highlight other issues that may need to be addressed in your business. So, if you're having a lot of maintenance issues, it could be due to the quality of work that's being done. So you might need to address that with, if for instance, every month you get a client saying, something's leaking, the plumbing's leaking. So you might start to see a pattern and go, hang on a minute, we keep getting a lot of issues in relation to plumbing. I think I need to address this with my plumber because this is becoming an issue. And that issue, not that it's just leaking, then causes other flow-on effects, like it's damaged their cupboard, you need to replace their cupboard. So these, I guess, writing this stuff down will actually indicate to you some of the things that are happening within your business. So in the worksheet section, there's also places to add figures that you may not often think about. As I said before, most people just think about profit and loss, how much money they got in the bank. They just look at their profit and loss sheet. But I also want you to write down the income that came in for the month. Write down the expenses that you had for the month. Write down the net profit you had for the month. And also write down the number of quotes that you did for that month and how many contracts you might have signed as well. Another good way is to have a look and see how many social media posts you did, as this highlights that you may not be doing enough to keep top of mind of your client. I am really bad at social media posts because often we're so busy and I think, oh, it doesn't matter, we've got heaps of work, I don't need to put anything up. But we've got to sort of change that attitude and go, well, okay, at the moment we've got enough work. I get a lot of work through word of mouth. But when things change, when the economy changes, when the GFC hits, when COVID hits, those people stop. And you really need to start digging to find the people that are actually out there that still do want to build at that time. The referrals stop. So I guess not only should you be keeping top of mind, it also provides a timeline and like a historical historical information about your business. So people can actually go through and scroll on your Facebook page and see, oh, they have done these type of houses. They've done those type of houses. They've been building since 2011. Like, if they're all things that qualify us for people to work with us. And if your social media posts are nothing, then they might think, well, hang on a minute, they didn't do anything that year. So what was happening that year? Was their business going bad? What I guess what was the trigger that they weren't putting those things on there? And it's just something innocent. You haven't got time. But that's not how it looks to the client. They look through and sort of assess, well, what's happened? Why haven't they done any work? They must be doing something wrong. I mean, we closed our showroom. So we had a showroom attached to our office, and it was $3,000 a month for that showroom, but we found that we didn't need to have it. People weren't utilizing the showroom. They'd been referred to us, or they'd seen us on Facebook, or they'd seen the awards we won, whatever it was. They weren't just sort of, I guess, showing up for that showroom. So we decided to make the decision we didn't need it anymore, and we basically gave that lease back. And the word around town was that then, of course, oh, they've gone bankrupt, they've left town. But we were still there. We just had closed one part of it, and people couldn't see that. So, it doesn't take very long for little things like that to be spread around town, and the next minute everyone thinks you're gone belly up and you start losing work. So I guess keeping that social media scroll and, clients seeing that you are still out there building is then proof that there isn't an issue going on in your business, and you've still got, clients, and you're still building nice houses. So, and they often just use it for inspiration. A lady came in the other day and she said, I've just been scrolling through your Facebook page, your house page, and finding features of things in your homes that you've already built to give us inspirations and decide, yes, we like this or we don't like that. So it's very good for, I guess, people seeing that evolution and the movement of your company still doing something. And we often say, oh, no, it's all right, we've got heaps of work, or we've got enough work. But there could be that one fantastic, great client that's sitting out there that you have missed an opportunity to work with because you're not putting your business out there, and they, I guess, missed that opportunity to work with you. You haven't given them that opportunity to work with you. So there is many different factors to the social media side of things other than trying to bring you work, because it is all a brand type thing, that if people constantly see that and see what your business is doing, that when they do decide they might want to build, they'll come and see you. So also write things down, like if you've got Google My Business set up, how many monthly visitors are you getting to that Google Business setup? Is it, if you've got analytics on your website, write down how many website visitors you've had each month. So I was actually quite surprised when I did look at the numbers of our website visitors. And I guess I did, like I said last week, I'd done the Set Up Your Scaffolding to Soar masterclass at the beginning of 2020. And I went through and I did the exercise and I benchmarked my own business. And so now I can actually compare what happened in 2019 to what happened last year in 2020. And our website in January 2019 had, I think it was about 177 visitors. And in 2020, we had 198 visitors to that website. So that was 11% increase of, I guess, people coming to our website. And over the whole year of 2019 compared to 2020, we also had a 12% increase of visitors to that site. So if I break down that figure, I can see on average, I'm getting 5 to 6 people visit my website each day. And these are the numbers that help you decide where you need to focus in your business. So it is fantastic to think that I'm getting, so the actual number of visitors for the whole year of 2020 was 2,302 people. And yeah, they're all coming to my website, and that's 4.6% of the population within the area that I actually, I guess, work in. And out of those 2,300 odd people, only 106 people opted in to be on my email list. And then I did only 14 quotes, which converted to 8 contracts. So we like to do about 8 to 10 contracts a year. That's what our, I guess, framework and business structure can handle without being too much of a stress on us. So why is that? Why is there? It's been 2,300 people look at my website, but only 106 people have actually, I guess, given me their email address, but then I only did 14 quotes, which turned into 8 contracts. So you can see the numbers, I guess, drop down as you go through the process. And that can be people are looking around, they're not ready to build yet. They're just in that research stage. But my messaging and branding on my website has been optimized to, I guess, repel certain types of clients. And I guess they disqualify themselves from working with us, which is, I guess, what I want to do, because I don't want to waste time with the wrong types of clients. So my content and my branding on my site gives a definite message to people that might say, oh, they look like they're too expensive, or, oh, they don't build the style of house that I would like. So there is sort of things that, I guess, you know, from that 2,000 people, only 106 gave us the information, but only did 14 quotes to get the amount of money. But I'm also trying to not have those, obviously, 106 people come into my office, because I'm not going to waste time on doing quotes for them and working with them if they are never going to build with us. It's just a waste of time and effort and money. So, you know, if you actually go to my website, there is a quiz on there that clients can go through, and it asks several steps so that before they even come in, I actually know their age range. I know, are they building their first house? Have they already bought their block of land? So I already have a bit of an insight into that person, so that when they do contact us, I already know, is this someone I want to work with? Are they at the right stage in the building process? So having all these figures, you can, I guess, run your business more effectively and efficient because you are looking at these figures. You know, we do have clients that do contact us, so there might be more than the 14 people that we did quotes for, because a lot of people come in and straight away we just say, look, I'm sorry, your budget doesn't match what your expectations are. Unless you can come back with close to this amount of money, unfortunately, you just can't build that type of house for the money that you're actually telling me you've got. So you do have that drop off of people. So on the actual last page of the workbook, I have 3 sections there where you can recap what did go well for the year, what didn't go so well, and what you'd like to leave in 2020. And I think most of us would like to leave COVID in 2020, but unfortunately, I think it still seems to be following us around. So, but I guess the main point is all of these markers give us the ability to make a better judgment call on what needs to be optimized throughout the year within our business. So benchmarking and finding those markers is a better tool than that whole wonky wheel thing that I spoke about last week. Sure, that shows you, like I said, it might be you might have a deficiency in certain quadrants in your business, but it just says, you know, sales and marketing. Oh yeah, I don't think I'm going very well because I don't have many sales, but it doesn't really indicate whereabouts in that sales and marketing process are you failing. So as I described in my website, I'm getting enough people to my website, but I may not be getting enough sales. But I guess people might go, oh, well, if they don't know how many people come to their website, there's not enough people coming through the door. Oh, it must be something wrong with my website. I'm not getting enough people in the door. And they'll go and, you know, get a revamp of their website and spend thousands of dollars when it wasn't necessarily the website. So I know my website has got people coming to it, so I don't think I need to fix my website. But out of those 106 people, I didn't make any further contact with them after they'd given me my email address. So I haven't spoken to that client and said, hi, I know you've gone to my website. You must be interested in something. So they've told me they're interested in my product, but I haven't then gone and said, well, this is what I can do for you. This is how I can, I'm showing them my best quality. Am I telling them about our service? Am I sharing client stories and showing testimonials of the work we did? No. But Joe, the builder down the road, probably is. So he maybe has taken that person that maybe I could have got to work with us, but I haven't made any further inroads with that client because I'm being ignorant to the numbers and have totally ignored them. So don't get caught up in worrying about who's doing better than you. Just mind your own business and having these numbers will help you to become proactive in your business rather than being reactive, which is often when it's too late, or you make bad business decisions because you're not looking at the real problem behind why you are having problems in your business. So we just need to find the ways to gain the leverage in our business. And I guess I can liken that to a crowbar on site, which we use to have a pivot point to move loads. So we can also use these pivot points in our business to get leverage, and especially knowing all of those numbers is a way to gain that leverage. So knowledge gives us the power to act in a way that most people can't. So knowing that those numbers gives us a way to be able to act the way that we should, that gives us the advantage. So I guess you might wonder, why does one builder, I guess, seem so much more successful than another builder? And it's usually because they have followed, I guess, cash creating frameworks. And sure, some builders may be in the right place at the right time, but you'll often see some that just sort of become an overnight success, that all of a sudden seem to be getting all these jobs. And you think, what's changed? What's happened there? But they're often referred to as temporary millionaires because I guess we often forget that in the business, it's a long-term venture and we need to develop skills along the way. And often these temporary millionaires skip a level and they become more susceptible to shifts within the market or the industry because they haven't learned or they haven't built a solid foundation, and often they'll lose everything. So, some of them grow too quickly, put on supervisors, put on more staff, but they haven't actually had those overheads built into those contracts beforehand. So they get themselves in financial trouble because they haven't, I guess, preempted that these things and actually put in those overhead costs into their business model, not thinking about the growth that they probably want to grow, but you need to be thinking of that before the growth actually happens to make sure that you can sustain your business through that growth period. So just like scaffolding can save you on a job site, frameworks can actually save you in your business. And we just need to find out the cash creating ones so that they, I guess, as a rule, we always get a result of bring cash in rather than the exception of not bringing money in. So knowing your numbers is just one of the ways. Knowing the numbers and not just knowing what's in your bank account or what's on your profit and loss statement will help you see the patterns so that you can create success and the ones that will cause success rather than failure. So like our homes need to be built following a framework in order for our houses not to crumble down. We need to follow the framework for 80% of the time, and then we can add our 20% flair or creativity to make it our own. Like I'd previously referred to the frameworks as being loose, this is what I'm referring to. So just like, I guess, the homes that we build, our homes, we get a lot of comments of people that says, I can see, your house from a mile away because it's so much different from the same houses that get built in our area. So we've done that. We've followed the framework to build a house for 80%, and 20% of that we've added our own flair or creativity to our home designs that the others aren't doing. They might be just, following the framework. Like project builders, they just stick to that one framework and they know that framework makes them money, or that's that it's easier for their business model, but you have to work out what framework works the best for your business. And these are the type of things that can help you work out those frameworks and how to make your business work the best for you. So I did hear someone, I guess, recently explain about baking cake. You need the ingredients to stay the same or the cake will just flop. But you can add your flair by adding sprinkles on the toppings or different color icing. So that's the framework is the cake has to be baked this way. It needs these ingredients or it won't work. But the flair, that 20%, comes from adding in your sprinkles or adding chocolate on top, whatever it is. It's the same analogy is with frameworks within the building industry. So we know there is a framework for building, but we often forget to build those frameworks in the business side of our businesses. And it's not that you don't want to, it's just that we may not have been taught the frameworks or you haven't studied the frameworks. And it's like, well, you go and study to build a house, you go to TAFE or you do your building and construction, I guess, course once you want to become a builder, but they're not necessarily teaching you the frameworks to actually, I guess, run that business for you. So you don't get the results you're after. And we often, I guess, we don't put in those frameworks or we wait until someone's yelling at us or we're under pressure. And then we start to go, oh, man, I should have probably done that earlier. But you're not, I guess, you're not staying within that framework and using it to guide your business along to stop those problems. So often we resolve to using tactics, but tactics, you might have success with it in the short term, but they often don't give you a repeatable success, whereas the frameworks, once you know them, you can have that repeatable process, and that repeatable process needs to happen for every client because people refer business to you because they've had a good experience and, they went through X, Y, Z in that process. But if the next client comes along and you do that differently, that they don't have that same experience or they wonder, well, that was a shit experience. I didn't have the same experience that Joe Blow over here was telling me. That was a completely different experience because you're not following those processes right through the whole building process. So you're just sort of running from end to end and trying to do what you can when you need to. And it's not until that client's yelling at you because you haven't done this or they don't understand that you start to go, oh, I should have done this before. So I'm going to leave it there today because that seemed to go a little bit longer than I would normally talk because I did say to you I'd like numbers. So until next week, I will talk again about actually the founding framework. So the base frameworks that you need in your business to make sure that you can take clients through every step in your business and that your business, I guess, follows a framework so that you can have predictable results and a predictable outcome. So until next week, keep powering your business and I'll see you then.